You want to open us up this time?
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay. Welcome to episode 2 of Midnight Masterminds. Oh, it sounds like some people are excited. That's fantastic.
What? So, we are the Midnight Masterminds. If you listened to the first episode, you know that.
That's true.
That's true.
We have a lot to cover today. We actually have a lot of news in the cinema world.
A lot of good content. For those who don't know, for those who didn't listen to episode 1, what we do here is we talk about movie news, movie reviews, movie things, and other things we like just because we like them.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool with that.
Yeah, that's... if you're not, who would be? Okay, so we're going to start off with a little segment that we're going to call What the Fuck Happened This Week with Trailers.
But we're not going to introduce ourselves?
I was just jumping right in.
Oh, but is that the official title we're sticking with? What the fuck happened?
What the fuck? Yeah, that's the official title.
I got a lot of questions already.
Okay, I'm Wyatt.
And the more feminine voice would be Aaron. That's me.
Yes.
And Katie May.
The more masculine, muscle-toned.
That's actually more insulting than what it should be.
No,
Katie May looks just like Dave Bautista without tattoos.
That's true.
Bald head and all.
Turns me on.
Oh, okay. All right. So, what's our first thing?
The first thing is what the fuck happened this week with trailers. So this week a whole bunch of trailers came out. I think it was something like 25 brand new trailers came out just this week, and we thought instead of coming up with a new segment, it came up with itself.
Wonderful.
So we're going to give lightning reviews of what these trailers may or may not be and whether or not we think they're going to be good. Katie, may you start? Go. First one, Lego Movie. Second part.
So excited.
That you didn't follow any rules.
I wasn't listening.
You weren't listening. Tell us, what is it about based on what you saw in the trailer?
The aftermath of Taco Tuesday.
Of Taco Tuesday, okay. Is it going to be good?
Yes.
Okay, good. Aaron, do you think it's going to be good?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
I also do. Great. Next, Halloween.
I think we have some differing opinions on this one. I'm excited to see it. I don't, this genre doesn't always attract the best filmmaking, but I think...
I think lately we have been seeing a huge uprising in
Exactly.
horror movies. Really good, well-made horror movies, except for one. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get there. We'll get there. This one is directed by David Gordon Green, who is known for Pineapple Express and Eastbound and Down. So I'm interested to see how this is going to go because it looks pretty creepy, but it also looks unnecessarily creepy to me. Like he's just dropping teeth. It's like, why are you collecting teeth, dude? What are you doing that for?
Well, it's a horror film, man.
Yeah, but Michael Myers, he has no use for teeth. Next. Okay, I'll take this one. Suspiria. It looks interesting and creepy. And it looks... I can't tell what it's about. I couldn't tell you the first thing about this. The trailer gives me nothing.
It's a remake. So, I believe it was from like the 70s, late 70s. The cool thing is the director is going to be Luca, who directed a film that got a little bit of news this off-season here. We'll just say Call Me By Your Name did pretty well when it comes down to award season.
So yeah,
he's
a little known movie.
Oh, okay.
You're still tongue-in-cheek.
I think you're getting a little irritated.
I'm getting little.
Anyway, so it's exciting, that.
Yes. All right. Katie May, take this one. First Man. What's it about?
The first man on the moon. It just looks really dramatic.
To the point, basically.
The first man on the moon.
I don't know. It just looks dramatic, and you're like, okay, yeah.
I'm excited because it's Damien Chazelle, and it's the first time he hasn't made a movie that is just solely based around music. So I'm interested to see just his filmmaking, not also how he incorporates music with it. It looks good.
Absolutely. Ryan Gosling, Claire Foy, so definitely good cast.
Yes. So the next movie on the list, we're going down it really fast, not stalling, because I didn't see this trailer. Siberia.
Yeah, next.
You didn't see it either?
I didn't see it.
No. We're just saying that one's a trailer that was released. Yeah.
So go watch it and then tell us what you think.
I know that it has something to do with Russia.
Oh, really?
Are you just
Rasputin?
saying
I'm
that?
just saying it.
Rasputin?
But yes, this is the modern retelling of Rasputin. That's not true. It also has Keanu Reeves.
So
I didn't see this show.
Rasputin. Just kidding.
No, but funny story. I found out there's an old made-for-TV movie called Rasputin where Alan Rickman plays Rasputin.
Interesting.
And it is amazing to watch. It's on YouTube for free. Go watch that fucking movie. Watching Alan Rickman throw his heart into a TV movie is amazing, and Ben Kingsley's in it randomly. Super old. Yeah.
Only one of the greatest actors of all time.
Go watch that. The next trailer is Kidding.
You're not kidding either.
I ain't kidding.
Looks good, but we don't have Showtime, so we probably won't watch it.
Yeah,
You
so
can borrow my code.
We're gonna borrow this code for this Showtime miniseries.
Yes.
About Jim Carrey playing who just appears to be
like a
Jim Henson kind of thing.
Well,
I thought Mr. Rogers.
I kind of feel like it's a Mr. Rogers and turmoil kind of scenario.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
It looks really good. Jim Carrey's not doing his normal stick, so it looks good. Next, what's next? Bad Times at the El Royale.
That just looks like a good time.
I'm excited.
I want to know why every year there seems to be some weird theme with all these offshoot movies. Like this one is crazy shit happens in a hotel. We just saw Hotel Artemis today. Mm-hmm. And then there's this movie, Bad Times at the El Royale, which is about other crazy shit and another crazy hotel. But I'm excited. I want to see what other crazy hotel movies come out. This is Drew Goddard, who did Cabin in the Woods, also wrote The Martian. So he's always a mark of truly good filmmaking. He did the first season of, or he's the showrunner for the first season of Daredevil as well.
And like a very specific style when it comes down to the director.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's
I'm
going
ready.
to be.
I'm ready. And it has Chris Hemsworth playing some kind of, he looks like a hippie. Looks like hippie Chris Hemsworth.
I think he is.
And of course he has a shirt off in it, so it's nice.
I didn't see him wear a shirt at all.
Is he just an actual hippie in his free time?
Probably.
Like a real life?
Yeah, he is.
He is?
Yeah. He just goes to the beach and like hangs out, basically.
Why not?
Next.
How to Train Your Dragon. The new one. I don't know what the little after title is.
Yeah.
But it's How to Train Your Dragon, the new one.
I didn't see the trailer.
It'll do well in the box office, I'm sure.
Yes. I don't know much about it other than it looks pretty good.
Yep.
Looks pretty good. Serenity with Anne Hathaway
Yes.
and Matthew McConaughey.
She's
See
making
what you did there. I like it. Nice rhythm.
What's this movie about?
It seems to be where a man who has a troubled past probably tried to get away to some sort of, I don't know, very exotic place, and then this woman tracks him down.
Exoticism.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. And then she has a horrible husband, and she wants Matthew McConaughey's character to take care of him.
Or does she?
Yeah, or does she? So who knows?
Trailer kind of paints it in a way where you don't know what she really
with
wants.
The thrillerness of this movie.
Thriller.
It looks exciting.
Yeah, it looks good. The next one, A Star Is Born, the directorial debut, if I'm not mistaken, of one Bradley Cooper, of one Rocket Raccoon.
It's a second remake as well too. So this movie's been. This is the second time this movie's been.
So
I
it
thought
clearly.
it was the third time.
I think it's the third version.
I thought it was the
third
fourth
version.
time.
I thought you were the fourth.
I thought it was the fifth time.
But yes.
I thought it was the sixth
Did
time.
you? Did
It
you
also-
go from 4,
Yeah,
5, 6?
I did, yeah.
There's what? Sam Elliott, Bradley Cooper, and then there's some kind of
Lady
famous,
Gaga.
famous
Oh
Lady
yeah, Lady
Gaga?
Gaga.
Yeah.
I heard she's cool.
It looks great. Absolutely great.
I was somewhat disappointed she's not wearing a meat hat in the movie, but whatever.
She's past that phase, okay? It's all about the music
I
now.
liked her outfits. They were fun.
All right, next.
Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Man. That's what I wrote on here. But it's
Into the
actually the Spider-Verse. I actually wrote Spider-Man into
I think
the
that's the
Spider-Man.
that's the follow up to this one.
That's the.
White is writing his own movie.
I read it and I thought it said Spider-Man into the Spider Gay.
Into the Spider what?
What?
I just looked at it quickly.
Into the Spider Gang or
Gay.
Gay. G-A-Y.
You're gonna write that one. I'm gonna write Into the Spider Gang. And he's gonna get beat up into a gang.
By spiders from the
Dude,
Harry Potter
yeah.
films.
He's running a gang.
Yes.
And he is starting the Spider
What if Spider-Man turned bad?
I wanted to
He
say
started
that-
a Spider Gang.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Man is not about this at all.
Oh, okay.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Man is about the
Spider-Man
Miles...
into the Spider-Verse.
No, I'm gonna keep calling it. This is the new title.
That's your
This is the animated one.
It's an animated. Yeah, it's animated, and it is about the Miles Morales version of Spider-Man. It's it looks like the Peter Parker version of Spider-Man is teaching the Miles Morales version of Spider-Man how to be Spider-Man, and then Gwen Stacy shows up as Spider-Gwen.
Sounds kind of like a gang to me.
Yeah, actually.
Sounds like a spider gang. I'm interested in it. It looks good. Who's the guy who's playing Peter Parker? Oh, I want everyone to know that we have the lovely Eileen over here in the background. Go ahead, say hi.
Hello.
He's doing research for us because
Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson. Eileen found.
I I had it. I was just introducing myself.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Sharp Objects.
Yes.
It looks fantastic. I mean, it's an HBO series. Written by the same. It was a book created into a TV series. Written by the same author of Gone Girl. And I don't know why you have your Elma voice out, but it looks very intense, as starring Amy Adams.
Yes.
So it's looking like it's gonna have some heat. So if you don't have a HBO subscription, you better get one. Damn it!
I also don't have that.
Well,
Borrow your
grab
friend's
mine.
HBO Go and log in.
Who's the true MVP?
Who's that?
If you're gonna take my login, then that's me. So
Oh,
I
I used
thought it
it
was my
before.
grandma because I got her Netflix.
then she is.
Go, Grandma. Yeah, it looks good.
Shout out to Grandma Gail. What up?
It has Amy Adams. It looks good. It will be good. Great. So the girl.
Hello, good, great.
The girl-
Next.
Back to Spider Gangs. The girl in the spider's web.
Oh God.
The girl in the
You
spider's
just made
web.
me say something I'm gonna regret. So just,
Spider gay?
No, even worse.
Can you
coming out next
Please,
year.
next.
The girl in the spider's web.
Next.
Well,
Is that what you think it will be?
yeah.
The next big thing?
No.
No.
Just let's move on.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks.
The follow-up of the same series of Girl with the Dragon
Girl with the Dragon
Tattoo.
Tattoo, yeah.
And,
But they recast.
yeah, they
the main
recast.
actress.
Claire Foy is actually doing a lot of work this year, it seems like. So,
Yeah, well, good for her.
exactly.
Didn't she leave the crown? Yeah, she left the crown.
She's trying
Was
to
she
get
a
her own
princess
crown.
in real life?
You better watch your
She
damn
left
mouth.
the crown to be an actress?
Next.
Next.
Mortal Engines.
Next.
Next. Yeah, next.
That trailer looked bad.
You know what reminded me of Howl's Moving Castle?
What?
Howl's Moving Castle. It's an animated movie. Have you seen it?
Next.
Don't know what that's
Alright, next!
Well, this movie looks like it's about cities that can travel, and Hugo Weaving's in it, and he kicks people off of cliffs that have information that he needs, which is just illogical and stupid.
Yeah.
It looks to me like it's some kind of...
Next.
Next. But we gotta follow the rules.
Next.
Next, White Boy Rick.
White Boy Rick.
White Boy Rick.
It
There's
looks-
also a documentary on this story as well, too, that is coming out, or just came out. Anyways, it's based on a true story.
What story?
It's based in Detroit, back in, I believe it starts in like 84
Where
for this
Deadpool
movie.
will die.
You watch your mouth.
Well, that's where
And
he said that
Matthew
he's gonna die.
McConaughey is
This
in
is
this
the truth.
film, but it's actually about I believe this kid was 15 when he started to get into some extracurricular activities that would include drug dealing and some other bad shit. So anyways, it looks pretty interesting because it seems that he was an informant as well as
Whoa.
a drug dealer
Whoa.
at the age of 15. And,
Whoa.
the story is out there, so there's not really anything to
The
spoil
story
besides the
is
fact
out
that
there.
he actually is still in prison, I believe,
Oh.
serving a life sentence at the age of 17 for dealing drugs. So it's kind of interesting.
Way to go, idiot. Next.
Next.
Next is London Fields.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
Looks weird.
yeah,
I don't remember watching a trailer for that.
It's
exactly. It's the
We watched it?
that was like the last one. That we
Yeah, I don't
watched.
remember it at all. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
looks
so,
weird.
Not only does it look weird because Johnny Depp's in it and he didn't even get a title card, which I thought was weird that we're in that point in
Are
his
you
career now.
Offended by that?
No, I'm not offended. It's just how far
The
someone.
one supporter of Johnny Depp.
No.
He deserves a title card.
It's just funny how quickly he fell from being one of the biggest stars on the whole planet to not even getting a title card anymore. And he's in this movie with Amber Heard, who... I'm not going to open that up.
Sore subject.
Yeah, moving on.
Next.
Next, Bumblebee.
It looks so cute.
She wants to boop it on the nose.
You want to boop the movie on the nose? I think it looks good, and I really hope I'm not being honey-dicked. Next,
Oh, interesting.
Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Well, there's been a trailer out for this already.
Yeah.
Just a new trailer came out.
With the princesses.
And a lot of people are saying that the movie is starting to look more like the Emoji Movie, and that's disappointing.
Oh,
I
frustrating.
do not agree with that at all.
I see their point though, because they're not giving us any indication of story. It's just Ralph keeps going, "We gotta go to the internet." And they go to the internet and they're like, "Look, it's Facebook."
It'll do well in the box office.
I'm excited. Even if it has no story, I think it'll be exciting anyways.
Okay, well that's the end of that segment. There are more trailers that are out this week, but we thought they were not worth us talking about. So,
F&A Cotton.
F&A, we're moving on to something called movie news. It's exactly what it sounds like. We're going to talk about movie news.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
The most straightforward title of all time. The most straightforward title of all time. It's the most straightforward title of the all
Okay,
time.
next.
That was professional singing from Wyatt Moore.
You're welcome. I'm going to dress that up. When we do the when I do the editing, I'm going to put some music in there.
Please don't do that.
F&A, we're moving on to something called movie news. Movie news. Movie news.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
The most straightforward title of all time. The most straightforward title of all time. It's the most straightforward title of the all
Okay,
time.
next.
That was professional singing.
Some line dancers.
What?
So you can visually see that in the podcast. There'll be line dancing.
If you look at your screen, no matter what format you're listening to it on, all of a sudden little line dancers will dance across your screen.
Don't promise something you can't back up.
I am
That's
doing
lies.
it.
Complete lies.
Fact.
Nope.
Okay, so
News.
No.
movie news. The first thing that I have up here is Ep.2 casting. Something that it broke a little bit ago, but it's still effing interesting. So we have Bill Hader,
Ew.
James McAvoy,
Oh.
and Jessica Chastain.
Ooh, that's
Are
a
they
weird
the-
way to say that.
The big names that are coming to the movie, and I think that's freaking
Oh,
awesome.
you didn't say what the movie was, but that's fine. You'll
I
start.
said It.2. I said like 3 times.
You gotta accentuate it.
Oh, sorry. It.2.
Anyway.
Discuss thoughts.
What to?
Oh, that's frustrating.
Just kidding. I don't know. I'm excited.
You don't know if you're excited.
No, she doesn't know. Period. She's excited.
Yeah, that's it. I don't really have any other opinions.
I think Bill Hader is a
I think it's
hilarious
great
choice.
casting, honestly.
Yeah,
like
that's-
for, like
that's
based
funny.
on the first film, it was definitely great casting. Oh yeah, and then as well, there's also another little bit of another addition.
A new addition. That's why we were going to do this in the voice place. In the voice place. Someone else say it. I can't.
The voice, please.
No. Yeah. Yeah. No.
Who was the? So if anybody remembers these Old Spice commercials, you have a gentleman who knows how to ride a horse backwards, and he's also going to be in this film.
Yeah.
Wyatt?
It's me. I'm from Old Spice.
No.
Actually, if you just open your Old Spice, Wyatt pops out.
No,
It's
the
like,
way I was born is
What up?
they put a bunch of Old Spice bars together. They caked them together, and I came out of it like a cocoon.
You still use bars of soap?
No bars of Old Spice deodorant.
Oh,
Idiot.
that's interesting.
It was a big hassle taking them all out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But anyway,
there's also another film.
Yes.
That's got some good casting.
Oh, take it away.
Continuing to develop.
Take it away.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This would be Mr. Quentin Tarantino's film. There is a shit ton of names that are attached to this project.
Whoa, language.
Yeah, exactly. Because we have been watching that this whole time.
Now we are.
yeah.
Now it's language cut off.
We've got Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt,
Fucking A.
Margot. Watch your fucking mouth. Margot Robbie.
Margot.
Oh, I'm so frustrated. Al Pacino, Tim Roth, Kurt Russell, Zoe Bell. I already said. Did I say Burt Reynolds?
No.
Well, I did now. Burt Reynolds.
Bertie Reynolds?
Bertie Reynolds, Emil Hirsch. I mean, I feel like it's never going to stop. There's all kinds of... oh, also, I believe James Marsden, now that I just remember that.
James Marsden.
Yeah. Oh, Dakota Fanning.
Oh, her girl is also in it.
That's her girl. That's interesting. Yeah, so it's going to I mean, there's no reason that the acting in this movie should not be good. So.
Yeah, but is it going to be a talkie movie?
Oh, you better watch your mouth.
Probably.
Movies have dialogue.
It's a Quentin Tarantino
Yeah,
movie.
I'm already out.
Listen here. What's your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie? Inglourious Bastards. Name one action scene from that movie that's not in the end. You liked that movie because of the
loved
writing.
that movie.
So this movie will be just
But
as
I
good.
just think about how much I hated The Hateful Eight. Ugh, the movie was awful.
Oh.
It was so boring. I fell asleep.
Katie May, you are a cult and serial killer fanatic.
Yeah.
This should be the most exciting news to you ever.
It's not scary. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
What?
Well,
What? What?
at least we covered it.
What?
Now we're moving
I
on.
don't know. I just
Some
feel
other-
like he could mess it up.
Oh,
So-
Quentin can mess it up. He made
Yeah.
one boring movie.
That was it for me.
That was
One
it.
movie and I'm out.
Katie May's like, one strike McGee. Don't fuck up
The
ever.
hardest critic.
Ever.
So other news as well. Ocean's 8 came out, and it actually
Wow.
has done better than any of the Ocean's films.
Which I don't find surprising,
No, I don't either.
but disappointing.
Even the original Ocean's 11, which I just found out was a thing, and that's hilarious.
Are you talking about the old one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Frank Sinatra.
yeah.
What a classic.
He's a wonderful person.
Other news. John Lasseter has announced that he is leaving Disney.
F&A Cotton.
F&A. What the passing of a legend. He's not dead, but like he's passing.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird way to put that.
But he really is a legend. He's going to be remembered as a legend forever. And he left. He went on a leave of absence like 6 or so months ago.
Who is this? I don't know who you're talking about.
John Lasseter?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll get to it.
Okay.
Why don't I
He
just get
goes,
there?
Just let me speak.
A legend. Who is he?
A legend. So he left Disney and Pixar like 6 or so months ago on leave of absence because some people had something of like an intervention with him where they were talking to him about how he's a little just sexually weird towards women in the office, like giving hugs, things like giving hugs for too long or like pats on the back that are just like kind of weird feeling. He never did anything openly bad.
Yeah, that's out there.
That we know about.
We know about.
He just he stepped away for 6 months because he wanted to, I guess, reevaluate
His life choices or something. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. And then he decided that he's just going to stay away permanently. But if you don't know John Lasseter, he was the creative director of all of Disney and all of Pixar, and he got to that position because he directed the first Toy Story, and from there he directed like dozens of Pixar movies that are just...
Which, I mean, that movie, what that meant for film in general or
Yeah,
cinema.
it was a
huge.
landmark movie. Yeah, that's why he's if it was just Toy Story he did, he'd still be remembered forever for changing movies.
For sure, absolutely.
Because that was the first full-length animated movie ever made. 3D animated movie, rather. But he went on to also direct Cars. He also went on to... I mean, he was involved in every...
Classic.
Yeah, he's involved in every Pixar movie, including things like The Incredibles and Monsters, Inc., and whether he directed them or didn't, he was highly involved with all of it, and because he was so involved in it, and because 3D animation changed the landscape of filmmaking, he was given the creative keys to the kingdom of both Disney and Pixar.
Which is huge.
Yeah, and for him to step away, because he had a lot of pressure on him, I feel like he's doing the right thing. Because he's trying to lead by example that, you can't behave this way and get away with it. But he's doing this all to himself.
Yeah.
He also didn't, again, assault or abuse anybody. We're talking about a dude who just hugged for too long. Now, again, still not okay.
Yeah, no.
Still not okay, but, I think it speaks to his character that he's at least going like, all right, I fucked up, I'm going to leave now. As opposed to all the other ways it's being handled by everybody else.
Correct.
Boom. Now you know.
Next.
Next news.
Next.
That's all I had on
We
this.
have some pretty sad news recently. Jackson Odell, who's best known for his role on Goldberg's, died at the age of 20. He was found unresponsive in a sober living home. That's kind of all that's known at this point, but that's very sad news because being so young, but just anybody losing their life is very sad. As well as Anthony Bourdain on Friday, June 8th, took his own life.
Rocked the world.
Yep, and it was not too far after Kate Spade also doing the same thing. So we talked in the last episode about mental health and that being a topic, and I feel like this is going to be a topic that should.
It's not going away yet for a while. It's not.
Yeah, absolutely, and it needs to continue to move in the right direction. So let's hope that condolences to their family, and I can imagine what they're going through, and it's horrible.
It's unfortunate that on a show that we want to talk about fun things and have a good time and talk about movies, that this is something that continuously comes up into like an entertainment podcast,
Yeah.
Especially with someone like Anthony Bourdain, who has had a really long career, and a lot of people really looked up to him and the work that he did.
And he meant a lot for a lot of industries. Right? I mean, like the culinary industry was, he made his mark there, but as well as in television, he changed the way that people view things.
Right.
So.
Right.
And news.
Yeah, news, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all the other news that I have.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring up that it's something that never go away a conversation. Somebody's always struggling, and you should always try to reach out.
Yeah. What we'll do here with this episode is in the description we'll put the suicide hotline number, so that if anyone out there is listening to this and you're thinking, man, that sounds like the way to go these days, it is not. It's not the only way. And we're not experts here on how to do that. Like I said, we're an entertainment podcast, but we will put that in the description for you.
sure. Absolutely.
Let's lighten the mood. Next. Any more news?
No, I think that's all that I had. I'm not sure if
Is that all she wrote? All right, guys. Thanks for listening to. Oh, wait a minute. I'm missing a whole segment here.
Oh, yes, you did.
You mean
Wow.
like the main
The meat and potatoes.
thing?
The main what?
The main thing of our podcast?
I like how Katie May waves her hands around like main, so that visually Aaron and I can look over and
She
go,
kind of
oh,
looked like a wizard. Actually.
she's being sarcastic, but this is a podcast.
They could probably hear the wind from her hands.
Oh, man. Okay, so here's a couple movie reviews. We're going to review First Reform, Hotel Artemis, Ocean's 8, Action Point, and Hereditary. What I'll do also in the description is I'll put time codes because I think people like those these days. They want to I don't give a crap about First Reform. I didn't see it and I don't want to see it. I just want to hear about Action Point for some reason. Well, you can do that now.
Nerd.
Okay, sweet.
First Reform. Neither Katie May nor myself have seen that movie.
Yes.
So this is a segment called Aaron Reviews a Movie by Himself.
Yeah. Actually, I've seen this movie 2 times now.
Wow. Nerd. Nerd alert.
How many times?
Nerd.
How many times did you see the Marvel movies that have recently come out?
Which ones?
Yeah, exactly. Ask me which one. Nerd.
This was a film
I saw Infinity War 5 times.
directed by, and written by Paul Schrader, who is another legend. For those of you who don't know him, his best work was writing Taxi Driver. So that was definitely huge. That gasp is exactly what needs to happen.
It's not a... What was that?
I don't know, I've never seen Taxi Driver.
Well, I was going to get in the review instead of... actually, I think I'm going to have a heart attack first.
This is a segment called Aaron Beats Up Katie May, and I do nothing to stop.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah, I knew you were a Johnny Depp fan. So all I'm saying is
What the fuck?
what this film is about. It follows a pastor. And pastor is really what his title is. He's not really a priest. Anyways, he had went through some trouble in his personal life, so he's dealing with a lot of despair. That's kind of the theme of this story. He had a son who he had lost, and then the marriage had fell apart at that point. So it picks up where he's in the church, and then he goes through a series of events due to one of the people in his church actually being a little bit concerned about their husband. So she wants her husband to talk to him and thinks that he's a potential terrorist or something like that because he's a part of an activist group. And the events that happen with that have him reflect on his own life and kind of the despair that's going on there, and completely changes the character. Is well crafted. Definitely a lot of comparisons to Taxi Driver from this film. It's in my opinion, if you like any A24 films, any kind of artsy films, definitely go see it. It's worth it. You don't need to clap.
I wasn't going to. I was going to snap.
Oh. Well, that was well put.
Fantastic.
This is the part where I would add more, but I can't.
Correct.
Next.
Hotel Artemis.
Meh.
Whoa.
Katie May just gave her a review.
This is the Jodie Foster show.
Yeah.
No, this is Midnight Mass.
No.
And
No.
here she comes, everyone.
Yeah.
And she comes out, hey there, everybody. Like, whoa.
That was a horrible Jodie Foster.
No, it was great.
That was closer to Anthony Hopkins and Silence of the Lambs. Hey there, everybody. Hello, Clarice.
Clarice. So, Hotel Artemis. It is about the Hotel Artemis.
Oh, I'm walking out right now.
Takes place in the not so distant future. I kind of like these new futuristic kind of movies that are coming out that are like in the future but not too far.
Yeah.
But we're in the middle of a massive riot in LA, the biggest riot that the city has ever seen. The Hotel Artemis is a place where criminals and like contract killers, you can play play. Yeah, so you can go and just play in the sandbox. No, you pay a membership and you can go in there and you can get medical treatment, you can stay, and you can be safe for a short amount of time. And a lot of things happen, and at the end of the movie, it's no longer run by Jodie Foster.
Spoiler alert.
That's all I didn't spoil that much. Gotta describe. A lot of crazy shit happens in one night.
I think it's pretty original with certain elements that they added to it. I actually was not expecting to like this one, but I was entertained by it. I definitely liked it. I don't know if I'd watch it again, to be honest, at least for a very long time, but I was entertained. I'm glad I went.
I wish I could tell you more about the plot, but the more I give into the plot, I think the more it kind of gives away in terms of like spoilers. But it has a great cast, and Jodie Foster does a fantastic job as the nurse, quote unquote nurse, because she no longer is a doctor because I don't remember exactly why, but she can't be a doctor anymore. But she has all the knowledge she used to be. Dave Bautista.
She was an alcoholic.
Yeah. Dave Bautista.
She drank.
She drank. Thank you. Dave Bautista is her orderly, and he has the greatest the line in the movie, in my opinion, when he does this to multiple people. He'll just point his little orderly badge and be like, "This means I'm a healthcare professional." And for some reason, that it's not funny at all, but it made me laugh a lot myself. No one else laughed. It was just me.
Howling in the theater.
I was like, "Hoo!" And everyone's like, "What the fuck is that?" Like,
I thought a wolf was in the theater.
That's my laugh. Hoo! No, Dave Bautista was really good, and then you had Zachary Quinto, who was really good at playing freaking jerk.
Yes.
Jeff Goldblum is in there. Actually, I will say that I think Jeff Goldblum acted finally for the first time in 10 years. Because normally when he's in a movie, he's just playing Jeff Goldblum.
You're really taking jabs at him?
No. I love Jeff Goldblum, but he's always just playing the exact same character no matter where he is.
Which I'm 100% okay with. Jeff Goldblum could just walk in and be like, "Hey guys," and be like, "Oh, it's great."
I love it too. I really do. But this is the first time where he seemed like he was at least trying to play a little bit of a character. So that was really fun to see. You also had Sophia Boutella.
And then Brian Tyree Henry, who's best known for his role in Atlanta right now.
Whoa.
Is the brother of Sterling K. Brown.
And Charlie Day.
Yeah, Charlie Day.
Charlie Day. I didn't even know he was in this movie. And he plays a comically over-the-top villain, which I was totally cool with because it's Charlie Day.
I love
Charlie Day is another person who could just be like, "Hey, what's up?"
He was just playing Charlie Day, but just a little more of a dick.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
Well, no, I feel like he's a lot more of a dick.
Yeah.
At least I hope so. I hope so, at least.
No, Charlie Day is like that all the time.
Sterling K. Brown would be one of the bigger names there.
Yeah, Sterling K. Brown is in it. Made famous recently for being in the O.J. Simpson TV show.
Also, This Is Us.
Yeah, This Is Us. Yeah.
I would say that's the bigger one.
No
way.
Really? This Is Us is huge.
It is still, yeah. So my review of the movie is the characters seem pretty evenly drawn. I love the premise that they're sort of a bunch of people in one night are converging in this hotel and it just doesn't mix well.
Yeah.
It's an interesting premise and a good idea.
It's a hotel for criminals. This is another thing too that's fun to bring up.
And it's well directed. I think the problem that this movie is going to face, if it does face a problem, is it's maybe a little oversold. So if you watch the trailer, it's coming off as something like an action movie and real punchy big pace, and that's not really it at all. It's more of a drama than anything else.
And it's a big production behind it, actually. Like that kind of sells the world that's.
Oh yeah, you don't like you believe every second of what you're seeing. Mm-hmm. So, good movie. Just don't go in expecting to see, I don't know,
an Arnold Schwarzenegger film.
Yeah, or like Die Hard or something. Yeah. That's not what it is.
It's a talkie movie.
Oh god.
K-May don't like talkies. You punched the other man, and I say you did that good.
I'm buying her walkie-talkies for Christmas.
All right, so let's go on to the next review. Ocean's 8.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Would see it again.
Would see it again.
Would see it again.
I liked it. I definitely was happy that this concept was taken on, and the fact of like people talking about women hijacking the Ocean's, franchise is just they did a very good job, which obviously there's a lot of talent on this film.
Yeah.
So
no, they did a good job. It's well made, really well acted.
The music in it too.
Yeah.
The soundtrack.
It was a good movie. There were just a couple little tiny things that were starting to bother me a little bit. Like it ended twice, and the little the little James Corden coming in to solve the crime thing was really didn't sell any, like, for me. I wasn't buying it.
Actually, I didn't mind James Corden, but I understand what you're saying by like his
story
title.
line.
Yeah,
like I like James Corden. I thought he did a good job. I honestly expected him to just come in and be goofy, but he wasn't. He was really good.
Yeah.
He was really good. My problem with that whole storyline is that they complete the heist, they get the money, it's no issue, and then James Corden shows up and he's investigating, and that's where you're supposed to go, oh, they're going to lose it. How are they going to get around this hurdle? And I don't want to spoil anything, but it just wraps up way too easily for me. And when it comes to almost any moment of conflict in the movie, for me, it seems like the conflict is resolved too quickly. They don't stretch anything out for too long. The longest bit of like tension that you get is when the necklace is missing and they're trying to figure out, how do we speed this process up to get the necklace out. And it seems to me, I'm not trying to spoil anything, it just all wraps up too fast, too quickly.
I think what it is we have an expectation set with all the other Ocean's movies or anything that's going to be Soderbergh related.
Yeah.
It's like very smart, or like he doesn't show everybody enough for you to actually figure out what it is. And this one was more predictable or just too easy. It wasn't as smart as what we expected.
Yeah, and directorial wise, it's Gary Ross, who's a great director, which is why I was a little disappointed. He seemed like he was just kind of copying Steven Soderbergh. Mm-hmm. I get that it's an Ocean's movie and you want to, I guess, emulate that style, but it didn't feel like you were emulating the style so much as you were copying it.
Just stick true to like kind of what you're doing as a filmmaker.
Be individual, because Gary Ross is a great filmmaker in his own right. So
correct. Yeah.
I don't know. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I wasn't bored at all. It just didn't hit as hard as like Ocean's 11 did for me.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. No,
it was paced at the perfect Katie May pace.
Like Katie May 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Katie May has a specific pace of movie, and if it does not go to her pace, immediately it's a bad movie.
Yep.
Yes.
Could be Citizen Kane. In fact, I might show her Citizen Kane to see.
Don't do it. Don't do it. And don't show her Taxi Driver.
Because if I know those movies don't hit her pace, and those are regarded as some of the best movies ever made. Citizen Kane is regarded as the best movie ever made.
Yeah, but
and I guarantee you, Katie May's gonna go, didn't like it. Why? Too slow.
It can be slow. If it's slow, I'm out.
Yep.
She's Audi 4000.
4.
That's why I don't like those talking movies.
Wow.
Okay.
Too slow.
The next one, Action Point. Did you see it, Aaron?
Did I see it?
Did you see?
Absolutely not.
You.
Oh, okay. Well, now you two can take this one. So.
Katie May.
It was okay. It was boring.
Not her pace.
Not your pace.
I wouldn't even say the pace thing.
I will say this: from that trailer, there's no way in hell that movie is boring.
No, it's kind of boring.
So, like, do you think the Jackass movies were boring?
Actually, I've never seen Jackass.
Oh, okay. Well, then we don't know.
Oh, you didn't grow up in America. My bad.
I wasn't allowed to see them, okay?
You weren't allowed to see Jackass?
No.
What, did your parents think you'd go out and recreate it? Because that's what I did.
Well, I guess that's good parenting.
Yeah. Shout out to my mom.
Shout out to my mom. Remember that time I jumped off the roof of the house? Yeah. Did that.
No, like, the stunts were really cool, but I feel like there wasn't enough stunts. Mm-hmm. And then, like, the storyline was just like, why do we need this?
So
you didn't like the combination of, like, the Jackass
like, do one or the other.
So here's what Action Point is about. It's about Johnny Knoxville. I don't know his character's name. Doesn't matter, I guess.
I don't know either, actually.
We'll just call him Johnny Knoxville.
DC.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. All right. So Johnny Knoxville's character, DC, he runs Action Point, and it is it's an amusement park with no rules. Basically, you do whatever the hell you want.
Based off of
Action Park.
I thought it was called something else.
No, it's Action Park.
Oh, Action Park from New Jersey.
Yeah, the real life Action Park in New Jersey, and DC's
no longer up because
No.
people have died there.
Yeah.
So
basically,
spoiler.
He runs this park. And his daughter comes to visit, and they're sort of estranged, so they don't know each other super well. She's grown up a lot since he's seen her last, and she starts to kind of work for the park. You get the idea. She's just staying there for the summer, and then basically lawyers come in and try and shut the place down and try and strong-arm him into selling the land to a nearby amusement park. So the whole movie is a fight to keep the park and keep the land and keep the lawyers away. And there's also...
That would have been a good movie.
Yes.
Just that.
And the fact that I'm saying, and there's also means, wait, there's more plot to this? Yeah. And there's also this whole plot of the girl tries to run away and then DC has to go get her. And that whole part
is what
doesn't
add,
work.
heart.
Yes.
They tried to forcibly inject like a heartfelt father-daughter movie into the movie, another movie into another movie. And it just didn't fit. Like, if they had left that part out and just focused on the first plot that I told you about,
like if we
probably would have been a good
like,
movie.
Some war like between the two parks, because like each park had like a group of kids.
Yeah.
If we saw more of that interaction, that would have been great. But then we had like this, oh, my dad doesn't understand me.
And the part
my daughter doesn't like being here. And you're like, just jump into a wall. Like, let's see some stunts.
Now after watching the movie review, is just jump into a wall, damn it.
So the whole point that I'm trying to make with the whole father-daughter thing is that they really try to sell you hard on the fact that this one moment that she doesn't feel like she belongs there or whatever, she doesn't want to be there. But the whole movie, she's like having a blast, hanging out with all these kids at the park and like working there. So the whole time, as an audience member, you're like, oh, that's nice. You know, his daughter's having a good time, and you know, it's kind of rough around there, but you know, they're all like a family. And all of a sudden, she runs away, and you're like, why the fuck is she running away for? You know, you don't feel it. You know, you don't believe it.
Because he didn't take her to the concert.
Because he didn't take her to the concert, which I want to call bullshit on her because he asked her, what do you want? And she didn't say anything. She was just mad that he didn't remember.
Yeah.
It's clearly established.
Yeah, I feel like this is about to get in the conversation of women and men.
No, it's clearly established through the movie. They do this on purpose. They show you that he's bad at remembering.
Are you talking about women do this on purpose?
No. The movie goes at really great length to show you that DC's character doesn't remember things. Like, he has a personal assistant who walks around with him all day just to remember shit and write shit down. DC's daughter comes up and says, are you ready to go? And he's like, go where? What are you talking about? She's like, and then she leaves. I'm sitting there going like, you could have just been like the concert and he would have probably been like, okay, let's go.
How old is this girl?
16, I think?
No, I think she's a little younger.
15, 14, something
13,
like that? I don't know.
13 to 15.
Interesting.
But it would have been, in that moment, you can, as someone who's watching it, I feel like his character would have just said, oh yeah, my bad, I forgot, let's go.
Because that's how his character is.
Yeah, very
it's like
nice
a very
and supportive.
easygoing, nice character. He's not out to hurt anybody, and she's just like, oh, you don't remember, while he's trying to like save his like business.
Teenagers.
Like the park is in danger, and she knows that if he doesn't pull together something crazy like $100,000 in 2 days, that he's gonna lose the park. He's going to lose his house.
Selfish.
And she's like, you won't drop everything and take me to a concert right now. You should be homeless for me, jerk. Like, that's the kind of vibe you get.
Yeah, she's a brat.
Yeah. So, if
I don't like her. I don't like this. I don't want any part of it.
If they had taken...
Just jump into a wall.
If they had taken more time to develop that, then that would have been a great plot thread. But they just...
Oscar worthy.
Oscar worthy. But they just half-assed it. So that brings me to that whole point of the movie is that I feel like the Jackass crew just had a really good idea. They thought it would be a great idea if we made a movie about Action Park. We'll call it Action Point. We'll come up with a narrative, and we'll do all the stunts for real, which is what they did. And people have the added bonus of seeing a new Jackass movie and getting to watch a good movie. Except they forgot the good movie part. Yeah. And they just did the Jackass stuff. And I feel like they got a screenwriter, and either the screenwriter is inexperienced or they wanted to change things to it, but... it's I don't know, the whole plot is really light and like watery. It's not that good.
So not recommended.
No, I wouldn't, from a story perspective, no. But this movie is interesting in the fact that it has a lot of stunts. They're all really well done. They're hilarious. And
the stunts are great.
There's a segment
wait
where
for Redbox or Netflix?
Definitely do it for like Redbox or Netflix. Just because it's like these stunts are good. These are because the plot creates situations that Jackass wouldn't just think of to do. Yeah. So they're fun to watch. Fun fact about this movie is Johnny Knoxville got hurt on this movie more times than any of the other movies.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he got 4 concussions on this movie. His eye popped out of his head.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Twice.
After one of the concussions, he went home after going to like the ER. Was like, I guess I'm okay, and he
blew his
nose and.
His eye came out.
His eye was already so loose that just him blowing his nose, his eye just went... and he had to go back to the doctor. And then it happened again.
Because he was laughing too hard.
That is horrific.
And it popped out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So see it for his eye.
Well, so he said that for like the last 2 weeks of shooting, they couldn't shoot one side of his face because his eyes just like bulging out still.
Oh my God.
So they're just shooting one side of his face.
How does one approach that situation? They'll just put it back in.
So what he did, he said he was wearing an eye patch, and whenever it would pop out, he would just go.
Yes.
Push it back.
And that's crazy.
And next.
Last but not least, surely not least, will the discussion of Hereditary begin now? Go.
Ugh.
We'll let Katie May start.
Oh God.
It was so boring.
I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree.
You go ahead, Aaron.
No. Katie May start. I don't want to.
I think she
interrupt
said
her.
all she wanted
Yeah,
to
that's
say.
it. It was
That's
boring.
it. Okay. Your
What's
review
her
is
name?
boring.
What was her name? Toni Collette, though, like gave the performance of her life, and I will give her that. She was
That was a great performance.
amazing in that movie.
But she's fantastic all the time. I really like her.
She
a
was
lot.
the best part of that movie.
Oh yeah, it was.
And
I thought
that's
it was-
it.
Okay. Okay.
God.
Like I said, I respectfully disagree. Just like the rest of America and Rotten Tomatoes. Anyways, Wyatt, you're next.
Oh, I'm next. Okay, here's what I will say. I agree with Aaron in the sense that this movie is very well made, very well written. The cinematography is probably my favorite part about it, as well as Toni Collette's acting. It's great. I like how in the end they tie everything together very neatly, and it all makes sense. Even things that you just let go by, like things that happen that you were like, oh, okay, that's a thing that happened. You don't really think about it. That is a thread that also, like, everything connects in such a good way. That said, this movie bored the fuck out of me.
It's interesting.
It really did. Like, maybe it was because, I don't know why. Maybe it was because all this hype about this movie is out where it's, like, really scary and people are like, oh, I can't sleep with my lights on after Hereditary. And like the last 20 minutes, I'll admit, are pretty crazy. But you don't get a pass for boring me to sleep for like an hour and 50 minutes just to be really entertaining for like the last 10 maybe.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
good storytelling, good filmmaking, but I was never on the edge of my seat. I was never tense. I was never like the only part that I will say really was like
Spoiler alert.
tense. I'm not gonna spoil it.
Just spoil it.
I'm not gonna spoil it. No. Is in the middle. Some stuff happens with the daughter, and if you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. That's all framed really well. The specific plot thread that has to do with the daughter in the middle of the movie, very good, very well done. That was really, really great filmmaking. And I'm not saying the rest of it isn't. I'm just saying that it didn't do the job it set out to do in the sense of keeping me on the edge of my seat or scaring me. I followed the story. It all made sense. The characters made sense, but it wasn't. I don't know. For a movie that was supposed to be thrilling, I didn't find myself thrilled.
Because you and I had talked about this obviously before. You just weren't invested into the story or the character.
It never pulled me into a point where I was worried about what would happen to the characters. I think that's what's important. Like if you look at a movie like Get Out. That is another movie that everything pulls together in the end very well. The whole time you're tense on the edge of your seat because you're super worried about what's going to happen to the main character. Mm-hmm. And everybody in this movie was so goddamn unlikable, I didn't really care if they got hurt or not.
This is what like astounds me about why you guys don't like it. Like I am surprised that you're not invested into these characters and like the amount of detail that went into this film was absolutely amazing. Like even the architecture of the house actually had
oh, that's incredible.
The themes, of the house as well, or the actual story. But to me, this story has a lot of different kind of overlaid themes. Like it kind of has the perfect suburban family in a sense, from the outside shell. And then it starts out, which everybody that can read, starts out from the grandmother.
What about for people who can't read?
From passing away. And then a story about legacy kind of gets put into there about this grandmother's legacy. And then on top of that, what I found so thrilling about this is that the filmmaking is not like your typical horror film. It's not. It's actually like A24 picks films that are more artistic or just usually way out of left field because they want something that's going to be a little bit more interesting. Which is why I'm
or newer or fresh. You know?
Yeah, which is like original and stuff like that too. But which is why I'm like surprised because I feel very attached to the story. I was honestly like literally they have people having heart rate monitors watching this film.
Yeah, which is why I was so shocked that I didn't have that
that's
reaction.
what I'm saying. That's why I'm surprised. Which is everybody's entitled to their own opinion, so that's like completely fine. Yeah. There's nothing. I'm never gonna say like.
I'm not putting any marks against the movie at all. I think it's incredibly well made. You can tell the level of detail that was brought into it, but I just never found myself scared once.
I laughed when it was supposed to be scary. I was like, ha ha! Like it was just ridiculous.
I don't see. Here's my thing: is like I see the underlying things that they were talking about, which they actually do talk about, like mental illness in this whole family, which is like the reason why this movie is called Hereditary is because they actually have kind of like an underlying theme about how mental illness can be passed down through generations.
Yeah,
and that's like very shortly talked about in the beginning of the film, and then she like mentions it, but then it comes back around to the end in a sense because everybody like in this family. Usually in a story like this, it's like the family's going to break apart and then they're going to come back together and they're going to be strong in the end. Like that's not this kind of story. And it takes a suburban, white family that everybody expects to have everything fine with, and it completely just gets turned upside down.
I want to say that I sincerely want to see this movie again, just because I want to see what I want to really look at it and figure out what is it that's not pulling me in.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
I want to be pulled in.
But that's the thing, yeah. So, like, certain people are going to see this and they come from a different perspective, so they don't understand maybe what the filmmaker was trying to do, and maybe that's a reason why. Not everybody has to like.
You saying I don't understand?
I'm saying you didn't understand this vision, obviously. You didn't understand his intention or what he was trying to do. So that
I know from a filmmaker's perspective, I understood everything he was trying to do. I get it. I get the themes, the message, all of it. It just wasn't. The only thing I'm saying is that it wasn't.
What about the filmmaking wasn't like? Honestly, I think it's like a master class on how to build suspense and tension, like the way that. Yeah, absolutely. He's
I'm over. For people who don't know, I'm over here kind of shaking my head.
He's taking from people like Steven Spielberg, and doing the.
Don't you bring up the S word.
Spielberg.
He brought up the Spielberg.
Yeah, because
Spielberg is the master of building tension and suspense.
Exactly.
And this, to me,
and there are articles to back up what I'm saying because I've read these articles.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So that instead of showing the events that are happening that people would normally have, like the comment that you made earlier was sort of referring to like a jump scare. Like you weren't like there's no jump scares in here.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I don't like jump scares. Some people rely on jump scares for horror films. Like that's what the horror industry relies on a lot of, which is completely fine. I like that it didn't use jump scares and that it used the reactions of the actors' faces, and then they were pulled into the scene instead of running away.
That's excellent.
That's what I'm talking about in the filmmaking. That's like,
and that's what I'm agreeing with you on that. All of that is done well. When I'm saying the building of tension, like I'll talk about one scene in particular without trying to spoil it. Something horrific has happened, and they just hang on the character's face that's there, right?
Yeah.
You probably know what I'm talking about when he's sitting in the car, right?
Yeah.
That's not building tension. That's a reaction shot. The whole thing is a reaction shot. That's supposed to pull you in with the the emotion of the scene. Yeah. You're supposed to get all you need from that. This horrific event has occurred. And these things are around him. I'll say things are around him, and he knows that he has to go home and deal with his parents, and that's going to be a traumatic thing. But instead of show you any of that, they show you his face, which is an excellent choice.
But
it is. But that's not, to me. That's not making me more tense.
No, that's the thing though. So exactly what you said. He has to go home and face that. That's what you're saying, but that's not at all what happened. He did not face
he didn't. He
couldn't even look in the mirror.
No, he couldn't.
And that is a part. That's a part of the story. That's what I saw. That's why I was so.
And that's why when he went home and he chose not to face his parents and laid in the bed, that made total sense to me. So what I'm saying from a filmmaking perspective, what they were doing, I appreciated that.
Yeah.
But when I think this movie is being misrepresented in the sense that they're saying it's incredibly scary. I think I walked in waiting to be scared.
It scared the shit out of me. It scared the absolute shit out of me. Not in a way that I'm gonna
You shit
go home
on
and have.
on the.
I'm not gonna tell you about mine.
Did you shit in the theater? You went. Blah!
Yeah, no, definitely it moved me in a much scarier way than pretty much most of the horror movies that come out now. Personally, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's what I got from it. Like I love that scene, and actually, it's kind of funny too because
I think it's the best scene in the movie.
Yeah, it's definitely when they were filming this scene, they had done a couple of different scenes before there that were just kind of like not what a normal filmmaker would try to like get all the crazy scenes and wanted to get them pumped up for that day or something like that. And they were just filming all kinds of different random scenes, and the way that they filmed this, the director didn't say anything to him. He gave him space, he knew he had prepared for this role with this part at least, and he just let him go and got what he needed out of there. So it's kind of a cool way to approach that, because usually you can kind of overcoach in a scene like that where it's like, okay, we're not showing what happened, so your face has to show everything. So that's a lot hanging out on an actor's head. So that was pretty cool that when I read that.
I know the filmmaking techniques from that perspective. They expertly told this story.
Oh yeah,
for sure. But when it comes to building suspense,
you just weren't scared. You didn't feel any suspense.
No, I didn't. I don't think they built when you reference Spielberg.
Those reaction shots are literally like those are specifically in reference to shots that Spielberg has made famous. That's a Spielberg.
So the way that he builds suspense and the way that he builds tension is the circumstances surrounding the scene. More conflict gets added in, and in this movie, I kind of felt like things had happened already, and then you're seeing it.
No, I don't think I'm talking about a specific filmmaking technique. I'm not talking about him falling everything that's like. Attention. I'm just talking about like that specific shot. That is a Spielberg shot. Like everybody knows that reaction shot is something that he did differently than everybody. That he used those shots, those techniques to do that. That's
for sure, and he did it well.
Yeah,
he really did.
Oh yeah,
but. I want to see it again just because I want.
I want to know if you picked up on certain things too. Like even Katie kind of picked up on some stuff like outside the house. Did you see certain things when they were showing the outside of the house towards the end of the film? I wasn't sure because I didn't pick up on it, and she actually showed it to me. But there's different things in the background that, like, if you like can catch, it's kind of like startling and stuff too. So it's
cool.
Kind of cool stuff.
Well, hey, there you go.
Sweet.
Differing opinions on Hereditary.
It was just boring.
This movie is making waves. People love it. Everyone's flocking to go see it. I recommend going to go see it. Don't go see it if you're looking specifically to get scared, because you'll instead face
if you're interested in
movie.
like jump scares and things like that.
That's not what it is. No, that's not what it is. And I'm not disappointed because it didn't have it. Mm-hmm. I can appreciate a movie that chooses not to use it, but the techniques that they used. Just to me, they weren't pulling me in.
Yeah.
I want to be pulled in.
He wants it.
I want it. Take me. But that's all we had prepared. Normally we end with another segment, but the opening segment with the trailers was way too long. But we are going to prepare a couple segments for next week. They'll be kind of fun, I hope, or super fun. Not just kind of fun. I want to thank Eileen for being our certified
Hell yeah.
Look for shit guy.
That's your specific title.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Katie May, closing remarks?
Follow us on all the stuff.
What's that? We can't hear you because you're laying against the wall.
I just got bored talking about that boring movie.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, man.
Follow us on Screenplay. That's where we're at now. Subscribe. YouTube. We got Facebook. We got Instagram. Do we have anything else?
All the social medias.
We'll put it in the
Twitter.
We'll put it on the description.
It's all gonna be there.
Follow us. My new show, Visual Cooking, is coming out
in 2 days.
Exciting.
2 days.
2 whole days.
So wait for it. It's great.
Or don't wait for it. Break into the YouTube headquarters where it's already uploaded and just watch it there.
Or break into your house and we'll give them the address.
No.
But yeah, follow us, listen to us, love us.
Yes.
And give us money.
Whoa, go to Patreon. Do that. That's how we will get food.
Or don't. It doesn't really matter. We'll do it either way.
It matters.
It doesn't matter. We'll do the podcast free, as always. But it would help if we got your money.
Oh, beggars can't be choosers.
Yes. So just to echo what Katie May said, subscribe to everything. Watch everything. My show, The Inventor, is coming out with a second episode in 1 week and 2 days.
Whoop! We like it. We hope you enjoyed listening, and definitely continue to listen.
Please. Thank you, and good morrow.